Let me ask you a question that might sound a little ridiculous. When was the last time you deliberately tried to be bad at something? I don't mean making a mistake. I mean intentionally doing something so poorly, so clumsily, that you felt like a toddler trying to walk for the first time. If you are like most people, the answer is probably never. We live in a culture obsessed with optimization. We want life hacks. We want shortcuts. We want to be experts instantly. We look at people like LeBron James, Steve Jobs, or Mozart, and we tell ourselves a comforting lie. We say, they were born with it. We call it God-given talent. But today, I want to offer you a different perspective. I want to prove to you that talent is not a lottery ticket you scratch off at birth. It is a biological process you can build, brick by brick. And the craziest part, the tool you need to unlock this hidden potential isn't a $1,000 course or a masterclass. It's already attached to your body. It's your non-dominant hand. Today, we are going to talk about why you should start eating, writing, and brushing your teeth with your left hand, or your right if you're a lefty, and how this simple, frustrating act can completely upgrade your brain's operating system. To understand why this works, we have to talk about the hardware inside your skull. There is a concept in neuroscience called neuroplasticity. In plain English, it means your brain is plastic. It's like Play-Doh. It can be molded, reshaped, and rewired at any age. When you are really good at something, let's say using your right hand to sign a check or scroll through your phone, it's because you have built a superhighway in your brain. The neurons in your left hemisphere, which controls the right side of your body, are firing efficiently. The path is paved, the lights are green, and traffic is moving at 100 miles an hour. But what about the other side? For the vast majority of us, the right hemisphere, the side often associated with creativity, spatial awareness, and holistic thinking, is sitting there gathering dust. It's like a muscle that has atrophied because you spent decades sitting on the couch. When you stick to what you are good at, you are just driving down the same old highway. You aren't growing, you are just maintaining. But when you force yourself to use your non-dominant hand, you are forcing your brain to grab a machete and hack a new path through the jungle. Now, here is the problem. Here is why 99% of people will turn this video off and never try this. It feels awful. Our brains are wired to crave efficiency. We love being on autopilot. When you pick up a fork with your wrong hand, your brain starts screaming at you. It feels slow. It feels shaky. You feel stupid. Your internal monologue starts making excuses. You think, I don't have time for this. This is pointless. I'm just not coordinated. I have actual work to do. But I want you to listen closely. That frustration, that feeling of clumsiness, that is not a sign of failure. That is the feeling of neuroplasticity happening in real time. If you aren't struggling, you aren't growing. The excuses we make are just our ego trying to protect us from looking foolish. We have bought into the talent myth, the idea that if you aren't naturally good at something, you shouldn't do it at all. And that mindset is the single biggest anchor dragging down your potential. I didn't just read about this in a textbook. I decided to treat my body like a laboratory. Last year, I set a strict rule for myself. For 90 days, I had to eat at least one meal a day using my left hand. And because I wanted to really push it, I decided to play sports left-handed. I grabbed a basketball and went to the local court to shoot hoops. Let me tell you, the first week was humiliating. Dinner time was a disaster. I was dropping food on the table. I was practically stabbing myself in the lip with a fork. A meal that usually took 15 minutes was taking me 45. I was sweating just trying to get rice into my mouth. The basketball court was even worse. I looked like I had never seen a ball before. I was airballing layups. I couldn't dribble without kicking the ball off my own foot. People were looking at me like I was crazy. The embarrassment was real, but I made a pact with myself. I wasn't allowed to switch hands, no matter how frustrated I got. For the first 2 weeks, nothing seemed to happen. It was just annoyance. But then, around the 1-month mark, something shifted. At dinner, I stopped dropping food. My grip stabilized. The fork felt less like a foreign object and more like a tool. On the court, I started making shots. My dribble smoothed out. By month 3, the data was undeniable. My shooting accuracy with my left hand went from 0% to about 35%. My handwriting, which started out looking like chicken scratch, became legible. But here is the twist. The physical improvement was cool, but it wasn't the point. The real magic happened in my work. Scientists call this the spillover effect, or transfer of training. By waking up the dormant side of my brain, I wasn't just getting better at using my left hand. I was upgrading my cognitive flexibility. Before this experiment, I was a very linear thinker. I would hammer away at a problem from one angle, and if it didn't work, I'd just try harder. I was grinding my gears, but after 3 months of uncomfortable training, I noticed my problem-solving skills had changed. When I faced a roadblock in a script or a business strategy, I could suddenly see it from a different angle. It was like I had unlocked a new camera view in a video game. I tracked my productivity metrics, and the numbers were shocking. My approval rate on new ideas went from 50% to 75%. The time it took me to write a first draft dropped by almost 40%. Why? Because I wasn't relying on just one side of my processor anymore. I had brought the other half of my brain online. I had activated the creative, spatial, big-picture engine that had been sleeping for years. This experiment taught me the most important lesson of my life. Talent is not magic. What we call talent is simply neural density. It just means someone has built a thicker, faster neural network in a specific area than you have. And the beautiful thing is you can build those networks too. The talent myth is a cage. It tells you that you are defined by your genetics. It tells you to stay in your lane. It tells you that if you are a numbers person, you can't be an artist. But when you watch your own hand go from being completely useless to being capable and precise, that cage breaks open. You realize that the only thing stopping you from learning a new language, or coding, or painting, or public speaking isn't your DNA. It's your tolerance for the awkward phase. So here is my challenge to you. I want you to embrace the clumsy. I want you to seek out the awkwardness. You don't have to quit your job and become a monk. You can start right now today. Tonight at dinner, switch your fork to your non-dominant hand. Tomorrow morning, when you brush your teeth, switch hands. If you use a computer mouse, swap it to the other side of the keyboard for 10 minutes. I'm warning you right now, you will hate it. Your brain will fight you. It will feel inefficient, and you will have a strong urge to switch back just to get it over with. Do not switch back. Sit with that frustration. That feeling of, I can't do this, is actually the feeling of your brain expanding its territory. That is the feeling of growth. Imagine where you could be 3 months from now. If you can teach your non-dominant hand to be useful, what else can you do? What other impossible skills have you been avoiding because you were afraid of looking like a beginner? The goal isn't to become ambidextrous. The goal is to prove to yourself that you are capable of change. The goal is to prove that your limits are way further out than you think they are. Awkwardness is the price of entry for excellence. If you are willing to pay that price, there is no skill you cannot master. I want to know if you are up for this. I'm issuing a 7-day challenge to everyone watching this video. For the next week, brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand every single morning. That's it. 2 minutes a day. If you're in, I want you to type I accept down in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are willing to rewire our brains. And if you want more deep dives into how to hack your psychology and unlock your potential, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what we have coming next. Thanks for watching, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.